Happy Tuesday. I hope your week is off to a great start. Another LEGO review is coming at you today on Brickscale Studio. Welcome back to Brickscale Studio. My name is Jeff. Thank you so much for joining me. So today is November 18th, and it just so happens to be the 97th anniversary of the release of Walt Disney's Steamboat Willie cartoon. And you might be thinking, well, whoop-de-doo. Actually, this little cartoon, which is only like 7.5 minutes. What's the big deal? Well, one, it is the first public viewing of Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse. They had appeared in 2 other productions of Walt Disney's, but they had not been shown to the public. So this was like the third cartoon that he made with them in it, but the first one that was distributed to the public. So very iconic for that, the debut of Mickey and Minnie. And then also, it is one of the first synchronized sound cartoons. Now, this is 1928, so sound in movies, whether animated or live action, was still fairly new. Live action, The Jazz Singer came out in 1927, and that was touted as the first talking motion picture, and it wouldn't be until 1929 to 1930 when movies pretty much all became synchronized sound. The silence were kind of over, but this was one of the very first synchronized sound cartoons. So pretty cool. So to celebrate that, we have a Steamboat Willie Lego set that we're going to build today. And like the cartoon, it is in black and white. So let's get into the build and then we can talk about it after. Here we are with Steamboat Willie. This is set 21317 with 751 pieces. And this was a LEGO Ideas set. So let's get this open. Some cool photos on the back. All right. All right. So quickly. Looks like we just have 3 bags. However, there are multiples of each. For example, there are 3 bag number 1s, 2 bag number 2s, and 2 bag number 3s. So let me get this all organized and we'll be right back. All right, so here is the booklet. And then we also got a couple of little hull pieces here that I'm going to set to the side. So lots of great information in the book here, having some illustrations, talking about the designers, both the fan designer and the LEGO designer. There we go. And then we get right into the build. All right, so one thing that's interesting for this picture's in black and white, and this is how the finished model will be. It will be in black and white. But having said that, for a finished model that presents in black and white, there are going to be a lot of colors inside that we won't see. So I thought that was kind of interesting. So let's get into bag number 1. right, that's the end of bag number 1. So we've got the base of the boat. Again, very colorful. This is an interesting upside down technique, but that is what the underside of the boat is looking like. So we have those wheels on there, so when we roll this across, you see this piece sort of undulating. That will be for the smokestack on the boat. It will go up and down. And then, of course, we have our black and white Mickey here, looking very cool. And then we also built this little Mickey Mouse display with this printed 1928 piece, which we also get 2 more of those for either side of the boat. And then that is it for bag 1, so let's move on to bag number 2. All right, that is the end of bag number 2. So this is where we are at. We got this cool little bird sitting here, and then we got the start of the smokestack. So when we roll across, they will go up and down. So let's get into bag number 3. Okay, that is the end of bag number 3 and the end of the build. So also in bag number 3, we got this Minnie Mouse figure. And then of course we have Mickey. And this has a little music tile that says Turkey in the Straw. And then again we have our little plate here. And they, in the start of bag number 3, they're saying you can take the little stand off and you can display your minifigures on this little stand, if you choose. All right, so let's flip the camera around and take a closer look. Here is the finished Steamboat Willie set. What can I say about it? It's pretty basic. I mean, there is a lot of interior things going on that you can't see. But to look at it, it looks very basic. It's black and white, which is indicative of the time period that this cartoon was made in. I do like the little plaque that they give you that you can display, and I do like that there were no stickers. Probably 2 of the, well, 3 actually. Let me move this out of the way. So it is built on wheels, so it has wheels, and when you move the wheels, the little steam pipes go up and down, and the paddle wheel turns. So let me try it from this other side. So very cool there, and the technique to get that all to work was great. And then it does have this little winch thing here that you can turn and raise and lower with a string. So yeah, all in all, I think it was a very quick build, a very fun build, and as I went over in the build process, it's very colorful inside. There's a lot of colorful bricks, so very cool there. But here you can see the wheels underneath, and you can see some of that colorful brick in there. But that is Steamboat Willie. All right, so what did you think about Steamboat Willie? Pretty cool build. Like I said, and like again, I mentioned it a couple of times, it's very interesting that the set, when you look at it, it's all in black and white, but inside that hull of the ship is just loaded with color pieces. It's crazy. One thing I didn't mention in the review that was kind of bothersome is you put on the wheels fairly early. And so you're kind of struggling with that as you're building up that hull of the ship, because it's very unstable with the wheels. It's always trying to move on you. And so, I mean, I really don't see any other way they could have done it, because the wheels have to be attached to the mechanisms that not only make the steam pipes go up and down, but the paddle wheels turn. So they had to go in the way they went in, and they had to go in early, but it was a little annoying. But other than that, it was a fun, easy build. So stay tuned. Thursday, Titanic is another ship that we are building, is sailing along. And then Saturday, of course, the 1966 Batmobile, and then next Tuesday, to celebrate the opening of Wicked for Good, we have another Wicked set. So be sure to stay tuned for that. And of course, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. We're always trying to reach our subscriber milestones so we can give away free Lego. And with that, until we see each other again, happy building, take care, be kind to each other, and I'll see you soon.